All right, all right, all right. All right, everybody. Good evening. Good evening. JC, the Trade Shark here with another video. And we want to talk about what happened in the market today. I did not have a great day in the market. Um, I was positive, but we could have made so much money. And I said that in, I said this in the pre-market, and I'm trying to do pre-market analysis and what we're doing right now, post-market analysis. 5 days out the week if I can. Sometimes I have to go to work a little early. Um, but I try to schedule it early enough to where we can do it 5 days out the week. So I went over in the pre-market. I kind of got a late look at what was going on, and I said in the pre-market if we were going to go down, right, as we did yesterday, because yesterday we touched 610, right, and today we went down to 605 and even all the way down to 600 on QQQ. I'm pretty sure SPY and everything else kind of went down as well. And I was just kind of, my mindset was I was kind of waiting for maybe a pullback, but it didn't happen. What really messed me up today, chat, was, and I'll show y'all real quick, how was my day today. It wasn't pretty. Remember I said I only wanted to trade with 50. I didn't do that. I traded with 80. Um, and we only ended up with $11 profit today. Should have had way more. I knew that way more. And I'm gonna go over what I was looking at, what I was into, and just the psychology of sometimes when you see a trade and the trade just like it's the trade of the day for you, and you would essentially be done, and then you don't get into it. It kind of messes with you mentally, but the thing that you have to look at is there's always going to be another trade. Number one, and number two, you are sticking to your principles, so you don't get robbed or get stopped out of a trade when you premature. I guess that's the word. So we were positive on the day. Another good positive thing is we were able to get out of the DraftKings trade. We took a $10 loss on that, right? Which is good. Um, we were able to sell it for 11. So shout out to DraftKings for letting us out that trade. Um, so yeah, that's this week. Think I'm negative. I'm down $4 this week. So hopefully we have a good Thursday and Friday to wrap up this week. My goal, typically a week, I want to do 200 a week, which is not that much a day, or 100 a week, whatever. Till we get to 100 a week will be best. Till we get to 1,000, then we can start doing more contracts, right? But anyway, let's kind of look at what I was looking at today. All right, so as we said in the pre-market, we were looking, right? We were saying in the pre-market, right? Things were kind of, we even drew. Let me bring this down a little bit. Because I told you guys I like to kind of look at QQQ because I was going to be heavy in the tech sector. And Tesla and Meta, I don't think are part of the tech sector. But I was also looking at those as well. But yes, in the pre-market we were kind of up, and as soon as the market opened, we started going down. We fell down below that. I was like, okay, we'll probably get to 610 and then maybe bounce back. So that's what I was looking at, the bounce back. But it didn't bounce back. It went further down to 600. I wasn't expecting that. When it went to 607, I thought it was gonna bounce back, but boom, just the bottom let out. Tesla, especially AVGO. Um, Microsoft held pretty steady, right, in the morning. So I was kind of looking at Microsoft as you see some of the contracts I got. It was Microsoft. I thought Microsoft was gonna pop down here and then pop up, and it did, right? I was able to get that. If you look at it was my first trade, right? I think this went to like 60, but I just went ahead and took the 50 because I was so disgusted at the other trade. Because essentially what I was looking at was Meta, right? I wanted to get into Meta, um, right? So I was looking at Meta. So I was looking at Meta. I seen it drop, and then it came back, and then right here at 8:54, we're on a 1 minute time frame, by the way. I was looking at this right here at 8:54. Remember, I said one of my rules was to only trade after 9:15, right? So I was like looking, I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna do it, right? So what happened was it came and then it touched. I was like, okay, it's gonna reverse. So good, I didn't get back. But then it just shot down, right? And if you look here, I was looking at, uh, I actually was looking at it here. I was like, I could get in this. I could get in this right here, which was like 850. And it was kind of going back and forth because I really wanted to get in it. To be honest with you, I really wanted to get in at 30 because I was looking at the whole morning. I was like, if it go back down to 30, oh my God, I'm gonna get in it, right? So right here, I was looking. I was like, it's gonna go back down to 30, and then it flipped on me, and then it just ran up, and I was so sick on this play right here, like to go from like 40, 38, 39 to, because I was like about to click the button because I was gonna say uh what I was looking at this morning. And then it just like, because it's on the minute, right? So it just went down crazy. And then it went up I think I was going to get out at around I would have got out around 200, right? But that would have been 10x and I would have been done for the day, maybe. Um, and then I was just kind of sick. I was looking at it and I was like, yo, I can't believe I missed that. Fast forward, right? So I'm still waiting. I'm like 9:15. Let's hold the fort. So I was just looking here, boom, boom. I think it's gonna catch and come back down. So I was like, get in 9:10. So I was supposed to get in again around here, 40, because I was gonna play the call to run it back up, right? So the call here we had 30, right? We're at 30. I'm just looking, and then it just took off on me. I was like, because right here as you can see, it's a one. I'm like, I don't know, is it gonna fall again? Then we got this three candle. I was like, okay, I might get in the three candle. And then the next minute just took off, right? From 40 all the way to 120. So that was another one that I missed. And at this point, I was kind of messed up. I was kind of flipping back and forth, right? So then I tried to get in Microsoft again. Um, no, I got it. I think I got it. Did I get in Microsoft one? So what I forgot to look at was Tesla, right? Because around, let's see, QQQ started to drop, right? It was flirting with it around 9:45, right? And Tesla had this big drop, right? I was looking at other stuff, but I wasn't looking at Tesla. So Tesla came, boom, it came back up right here, 940. And I was thinking about getting a Tesla, but I took my eye off it. I started looking at nvda and other some of the other tickers, right? And I was thinking about getting in nvda. So I was trying to line this one up. So long story short, I could have got into, what day is this? So could have got into nvidia or Tesla, but just let me, boom. See nvidia 40, nvidia went all the way up, Boom. We could have got in at 44, got out here. So we could hit NVIDIA or Tesla. Tesla probably was a trade of the day. And NVIDIA was a close second because on the put side, I just, like, this is the first day I had calls and puts lined up back to back. So the mind, I wasn't flowing in the mind. I was still messed up. On the meta trade, I missed both sides. I could have made money on the down and then made money on the up and would have been good for the day. I was messed up. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I was messed up, and this is a good tool, or it's not necessarily a tool, but it's a good learning lesson, to say the least, that there's always more trades, like I was saying before. Sometimes the psychology is, dang, I missed this trade, or I missed this trade, because I could have been out of it early. That was what was kind of bothering me, instead of looking at what other setups do you have. Like, for instance, in the morning, rather we playing up or down, right? We got to break orb, because I was telling myself, especially on, I was looking at Apple, and all these things, and I was just trying to set it up. Just like I said, it was my first day setting up calls and puts to look at them together. So I was trying to figure out the contracts and which ones made the most sense. Microsoft, I was trying to see if Microsoft was going to go down or go back up, because I know I've been big on Microsoft. But we had enough time. We definitely had enough time on Tesla and NVIDIA to get into those. I mean, you could have ate. I mean, look at this. You could have ate either way. And that was kind of the hard part for me today, right? We could have ate multiple times. We could have ate on Tesla, right? We could have ate on NVIDIA. Right? See, this is 9.35. Boom, 20, $30 here, then boom, you go to 50. You could have ate so many different ways. But keep in mind, this is the minute chart, so minutes move fast. You don't know, so you just kind of wait for big swings. I like to use the minute to time my entries and exits, but I also look. I time that also with what I'm seeing on my big chart. Looking at the 15-minute, hour, 5-minute. But like I said, the minute is more so just for entries and exits, because then I can kind of see have a lot more resolution on maybe where we are kind of plateauing and where we could potentially go to. Right. So, but yeah, it was a tough day. It was a tough day, not necessarily because we were positive, but we left so much meat on the bone. And that's just looking at this whole week, right? This whole week. We've been seeing the plays. I think, like I said, the bright side is we are seeing the plays. We are following our guidelines as far as what are our rules. We are following, excuse me, following those. I think moving forward, I'm just going to try to have a better, what I want to say. I want to have a better gauge. Like, for instance, like if it's going to be a call, like if it passes orb, we can go here. I need to have that for the top stocks that I'm kind of looking at, right? Because then just better setup. I guess that's a better word, right? Better setup. I didn't really look at anything else. Let's see if anything else popped off today. I know let's see, snow recovered. Came all the way down to 160. Went up. Like I said, the market kind of recovered around noon, which usually happens between 11:30, 11:20 and noon, or 12:30. The market can tends to reverse. So everything, like I said, everything reversed around 11:50, 11:50 or 12. So it wasn't bad. If you like, I'm usually done around 11, 11:30. I'm usually done trading. I try to get my trading done 30 minutes or less if I'm in a trade, right? So that's just one of the things, y'all. We just got to pay attention to where we could potentially go based off what we see in the pre-market. So that's just a lesson for today. We need to kind of dictate where we're going, where we could go. I think that's the word, where we could go on certain stocks, and have everything kind of lined up as we look at the first 20 minutes. First 20 minutes. So we'll be looking to see if we maybe have a major reversal tomorrow. We'll see. I think we might tomorrow might be a day where we go totally green. It could be a day like today where we trade in a range, like a consolidating day. So we're just gonna have to check that out. So let's look at the ticker list. So Microsoft. Hey, Microsoft even came back down to 409. That's crazy. We went up just to come back down. So like I said, we could be an up and down day tomorrow. So keep our head on the swivel. Maybe Meta. So Meta came back. Remember we said Meta could come back down, back to previous range. So we did make it back to the previous range, right? But we still might get back up to this gap. So Meta's still gonna be in play for us. We still might be able to get back into this gap. 687. What did we enter? So we ended on 670. So we'll see in the pre-market. Meta just, it had a lot for us. NVIDIA as well. All right, how did Shopify do? Shopify tanked 110. What was we saying? Shopify usually 130. So, all right, we're down here. It touched here, then went back. So we'll see. We'll see. Everything, I think everything went red today. Oracle been beat up. Baba, how did Baba do? Baba went down too. Video, we already know about the video. You actually went up. You actually went up. Still has. Right, we had you on the list, so you did pretty good today. Went from 23 all the way up to 25, almost 26. So you could make some good money on you today. Hood, how is Hood looking? So Hood is looking really beat up. Let's see. So we had almost 1 million shares. So could we see a reversal on Hood tomorrow? That'll be good. AMD, I think. Whew. So AMD will be popular because AMD has a gap to fill. For me, let me see. It has high volatility, but it's still affordable. AMD is still very affordable. It could be a contract we just hold. I might look at AMD for just a hold for it to jump back. I don't know. I'm real leery about holding things. Real leery about holding things in this market. So yeah. 100, is it? Is that 100 million transactions? Jeez. Wow. So they sold AMD, they sold off. About Amazon. What did we say Amazon could go back to? So Amazon took the high, came back down. So like I said, a lot of stuff broke down today. Pins out of pins. Pins lowest is gonna be like you could probably let's look at pins real quick. Could we take a Oh, never mind. I was trying to see if maybe we can push it out like a month and get into something. The shout out to DraftKings, man. They came back. They touched up here. We were able to get out. They made something out of nothing on DraftKings. DraftKings is real close to being on my do not trade list. I ain't gonna lie. It's real close to being on my do not trade list. Snap had earnings today. Okay. What did they do? Better than expected. So maybe Snap. Keep your eye on Snap. What about QBTS? I think QBTS went. It looked good and then it dropped. So Eli Lilly had a day today. Remember we were talking about health. If contract weren't so expensive, Lilly, yeah, Lilly could have been a play. It's too high. It's too high for me. Maybe not for some of you guys, but for me, it's too high. RVN dip down. Remember, y'all, this might be one of the lowest you find RVN throughout the year. You want to get some and hold some, is a good price to get into. SoFi dipped. CFIR, same thing. Apple has been holding. Apple has been holding. So I've been kind of scared to get an Apple. I've been kind of scared to get an Apple because I'm just waiting on a big move. I'm surprised it didn't dip. Apple and Microsoft did not dip today like all the other stocks. UNH, dip. UNH, like I said, keep your eye on UNH. I believe the health sector is looking to recover. So UNH is taking a beating, but keep your eye on UNH. Let's look at some UNH contracts, actually. Let's look at some UNH contracts. It's 9, 2. UNH to get back to 300 in 3 weeks. Hold on, let's look at the weekly chart. Go. UNH. Let's look at the daily. Let's see how far we down. UNH. So there's a gap here, but it looks like we touched a previous low. What's this? 276. So yeah, 275. The next would be 268. If we go down to 268 or 262, 263, 262, 268, then I'll be looking at getting a contract. But look at this. See, we came down here before, and then one day it just flashed up back up to 300. Same thing here, 300, flash back up to 360. So, let's see. Let's look at the weekly. So we're here. This might be a glow. I'm not gonna lie to you, I might take a flyer on UNH February, especially if it looks like it's gonna, if the market go back up, we're gonna take a flyer on this UNH. UNH. I might even put, let's do 20s. 310, 310. That's a lot of volume. Open interest right here, 320. Take a 320. On UNH. Give it 2 weeks. What y'all think? 2 weeks. Let's look at UNH. This is a week. We can look at the 2 week. 307, 322. That's 307. This is the type of stuff that can get your account up straight. Like we get into a play like this. 320 for 2 weeks. That'll give us a whole week to get it back. UNH. Let me put this down. You heard it here first. UNH 320C. Depending on how it does tomorrow, the market start to recover tomorrow. I'm gonna go ahead and pick this one up. UNH nearly 20% after disappointment. Okay, rate change. So we'll see. It could come back down. If it come back down here, we getting 2 contracts. Like I said, pay attention to that. The UNH was a 3-2 reversal. Okay. All right, XP. I don't care about this one. It actually popped. What about Wells Fargo? Wells Fargo still kind of meandering around the same area. JPM, I think JPM went up today. JPM almost hit 323.19. I told y'all about JPM. We was on JPM last week. We've been on JPM since last week, y'all. I told y'all I was gonna get back up here. I told y'all I was going to 320. We're gonna make some serious money on JPM this week. Finance. I got a small account. If I like say once the account get to 1,000 or something like that, that's the goal first. Then we could take some little flyers like this. I could have took a $20-$30 contract and rolled that thing out this whole week. And I told y'all that where it was going. And it got there. We're back at the monthly 50%. So where could it go? Month high? Can we get back up here? It's already here. 321, 325. Like I said, JPM had good earnings. No, it did. It didn't. That's the crazy thing. PLTR got dumped on his head. PLTR is also something we want to keep watch on. But I'm more so worried about PLTR kind of tomorrow and Friday. Cheap. You see, I don't like when it's the 2.5 price spreads. I don't like those. So I might, if I get in PLTR, it'll be Friday. All right, that's it for today's market review. Like I said, we'll be back in the pre-market tomorrow, maybe a little earlier than what I did today. Kind of around, maybe 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 Central, 4:30 Pacific. And then I guess that'll be afternoon if you're in Asia. Or was that Asia? It'd be evening, afternoon in the Europe. Okay. All right, that's it for this video, this live stream. I thank everybody for listening and watching. Again, we'll be back in the pre-market, and hopefully tomorrow will be a better day. I mean, today was positive, so that's the most important thing, but we just left so much meat on the bone, so much money out there. And that's the kind of things that eat at you. So you just kind of got to get in your mindset and see what you need to do to prepare for tomorrow.